Every crisis is more dangerous than the one before it. This is a warning from a prominent financial analyst, Jim Rickards. This thought-provoking declaration set an important debate about the downward spiral of a major recession.
Hi, my name is Jim Rickards. I'm a former advisor to the Pentagon, the White House, Congress, the CIA, and the Department of Defense. I'm also an attorney, investment banker, and author of 7 books on currencies and international economics. When places like Fox, CNBC, or Bloomberg want to know what's about to shake up the global economy, they call me.
Welcome to today's video. Today, we will examine Rickards' warning of what he calls the worst crash in human history. At this critical juncture, it is not only advisable, but important to understand the shades of economic turmoil and its systemic consequences. Join us as we get started to unpack the complexities of this looming crisis and identify ways to protect ourselves from its groundbreaking effects. Previous crisis and warning signs. As history has shown, each financial crisis is more severe and poses greater challenges than the previous one. Each crisis is more dangerous than the one before. So 1998, 2008, we're going to get to a point where the crisis is actually bigger than the FED, bigger than the FED's ability to stop. We are uncomfortably close now. It's impossible to know exactly how close because it's a complex dynamic system, and you can make very good predictions on complex dynamic systems as to the magnitude of the crisis, but it's very hard to get the exact timing. Drawing parallels with the crisis of 1998 and 2008, Rickards highlights the looming danger of an even bigger crisis that could force central banks, particularly the Federal Reserve, to contain it. In 1998, Russia's external debt collapsed, and the global financial system was on the brink of collapse. This event led to an ongoing currency crisis that echoed around the world. Meanwhile, Rickards, who was heavily involved in managing risk in long-term capital management, recalls the harrowing experience of navigating the mess. While there is a widespread misconception that the losses were primarily related to Russian assets, the reality was more dire. The currency deficit has led to indiscriminate selling in the markets, which has led to widespread spreads, while deficits in inputs and call currencies have given investors to the brink of bankruptcy. Similarly, the financial crisis of 2008, exemplified by the collapse of Lehman Brothers, once again exposed the fragility of the global financial system. Rickards describes how other major financial institutes, including Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs, faced near collapse, exacerbating the crisis. Only swift intervention by central banks, especially the Federal Reserve, kept the market from collapsing altogether. Rickards likens the event to a cascade of falling dominoes, with each institutional decay bringing new chaos. The Federal Reserve's decisive action, characterized by a massive cash injection and emergency interest rate cuts, played a pivotal role in stabilizing the situation. However, Rickards warns that such interventions have their limits. Despite averting disaster on these occasions, the underlying vulnerabilities in the financial system remain unresolved. As global markets become increasingly interconnected and complex, accurately predicting the timing and magnitude of future crises becomes exceedingly challenging. The recurrence of near-catastrophic events in 1998 and 2008 serves as a stark reminder of the systemic risks inherent in the financial system. The actions taken by central banks may provide temporary relief, but they do not address the fundamental issues that make each successive crisis more perilous than the last. Asset protection strategies. During times of global liquidity crisis, safeguarding assets becomes paramount, and Jim Rickards offers invaluable insights into strategies for asset protection. Rickards underscores the importance of diversification by advocating for the inclusion of assets less susceptible to market downturns. Tangible assets like land, real estate, gold, silver, and fine art are recommended as viable options. Rickards highlights their potential by referencing assets like Andy Warhol's Marilyn Monroe, which appreciated significantly over time. But here's my point. Each bailout gets bigger than the one before. Each crisis is more dangerous than the one before. You want assets that are going to be immune from a global liquidity crisis? What are they? Land, real estate, gold, silver, fine art? I see Andy Warhol's Marilyn Monroe has gone. They estimate $200 million. In addition to tangible assets, Rickards suggests exploring investments in natural resources such as water, energy, and oil. Companies in these sectors like ExxonMobil and Chevron offer stable investment opportunities amidst market volatility. Caution is advised with traditional stock portfolios, as Rickards predicts distress in banks and money market funds during financial turmoil. If you want to be in stocks, okay. Get stocks of companies that are based on natural resources such as ExxonMobil, Chevron. I'm not going to give these as an example, but there are a lot of ways to protect yourself. Rickards also sheds light on the evolving nature of the US dollar, describing its transition into a cryptocurrency since 1979. This transformation emphasizes the need for investors to diversify beyond traditional fiat currencies. Furthermore, Rickards warns against the indiscriminate use of economic sanctions, drawing from his expertise in this area. He cautions that overly broad sanctions may lead targeted entities to seek alternatives outside the dollar system. By incorporating Rickards' recommendations, investors can better position themselves to overcome the challenges posed by a looming global liquidity crisis. Impact of economic sanctions and geopolitical tensions. Recent events have highlighted the extent to which economic sanctions and governmental actions can impact ordinary citizens and powerful figures alike. Take, for example, the recent actions in Canada, where Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland froze the bank accounts and crypto wallets of truckers involved in protests. This move was accompanied by criminalizing support for the truckers under a new interpretation of Canadian law. Similarly, in the United States, accounts of oligarchs have been seized, blurring the lines between actions against blue-collar workers and billionaires. These actions by Canada and the US, both significant players in the global economy, raise concerns about the use of financial power to target individuals deemed unfavorable by those in authority. The ramifications of such actions extend beyond national borders, affecting the confidence of individuals and entities in the global financial system. Consider the discomfort experienced by Saudi princes, Russians, and Chinese oligarchs amidst these developments. The targeting of individuals based on political decisions underscores the vulnerabilities inherent in relying on a single currency, such as the US dollar, for global transactions and reserves. Moreover, the unintended consequences of economic sanctions and trade disputes are becoming increasingly evident. Russia's response to sanctions included halting exports of strategic metals like nickel, essential for various manufacturing processes. This move led to a dramatic increase in nickel prices, causing disruptions in commodity markets and significant financial losses for entities reliant on these resources. One notable example is a Chinese billionaire who incurred substantial losses due to the ripple effects of the nickel export ban. These instances shed light on the complex interplay between geopolitical tensions, economic warfare, and the broader financial landscape. As nations navigate these dynamics, it becomes imperative to consider not only the immediate objectives of sanctions, but also their long-term implications on global stability and economic prosperity. Gold reserves and reserve currency dynamics. Here, we will discuss the dynamics of gold reserves and reserve currencies, exploring how nations like Russia and China have fortified their gold holdings as a buffer against currency devaluation. Notably, Russia has seen its gold reserves surge from 600 to 2,300 tons, while China's reserves have similarly increased, reaching around 2,000 tons, with potentially more held off the books. This strategic move underscores the enduring role of gold as a safe haven asset, historically proven to retain its value amidst economic uncertainty and market volatility. Despite the speculation about the potential of alternative currencies, such as the Chinese yuan, to challenge the supremacy of the US dollar as the global reserve currency, significant hurdles remain. One major challenge lies in the absence of robust bond markets and rule of law infrastructure necessary to support widespread adoption. Without these critical components, emerging currencies struggle to establish the credibility and infrastructure required to supplant existing reserve currencies. These dynamics underscore the complexities involved in reshaping the global financial landscape and highlight the enduring role of gold as a reliable hedge against currency fluctuations and economic instability. As nations navigate these challenges, the evolution of reserve currencies and strategic diversification of assets remain key areas of interest and debate in the realm of international finance. Conclusion. In summary, Jim Rickards' analysis of the prevailing economic climate highlights the need for smart asset protection measures to gain nuanced understanding of global economic dynamics. For important insights and to strengthen your investment skills, we invite you to subscribe to our portal, share your thoughts in the comment section, and participate in our events in the Strong. Let's stay together to go through the challenging terrain of today's financial services industry and strengthen our economic reforms. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video.